Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to a Virgo reading. I have been doing really well. If you guys would be interested in booking a reading, you could do so over on the website rubyreadtarot.com. Check out the list of services available there. Alright Virgo, I have been inspired to do two readings for you. One of which I think I might do directly after this one. Hello guys, welcome everyone, welcome in, thank you. Right, so Virgo, should we take a deep breath in together, exhale, and we'll get into your message. Let's go. Let all of it go. All right, Virgo. Let's get some messages for Virgo, the Virgo collective, in their highest and best good for all involved. This Scorpio season, this particular Saturday, the moon happens to be in the sign of Libra before it goes into the sign of Scorpio for the new moon, which is really going to be a transformative new beginning. So whatever energy you find rising up to the surface right now is for you to look up, look through, resolve whatever emotions that are being brought to the surface are not to drown you in the swamp of Scorpio season, but to really see what it is that you can do to put an end to certain emotional patterns that you know are destructive in order to fulfill this transformation, which you know is very much necessary and is so required of you guys, of all of us, of this collective. We know that there is a transformation needed, and Virgo, I think you more so than anyone for the longest time has felt the need to change things up, to shape things up, to transmute things in your magician way, in ways that only you know how to do. And so Virgo, right now, I wouldn't give yourself any less credit than you're 100% owed, even if you're not seeing that reflected in your external 3D. The trick here is to feel valued, is to feel merited, is to feel on top of your game. I think at the moment there are energies running absolutely rampant, trying to subliminally control you or manipulate you, or to get you to do things in other parties' best interests and not necessarily your own. And I think this is where the emotional intelligence of Scorpio season really needs to kick in. Those pinchers are there to be used as a defense, Virgo. So where are your defenses? Page of Wands and the World. We were talking about transformations. We were talking about new beginnings. Virgo, there is a message that you're going to be receiving really shortly, relatively soon, about closing out one chapter and opening up a new one. This is a brand new beginning. And this message is something that I think you're going to find comes through in a really passionate kind of way. It's something that is initiative. It's something that is giving you an opportunity to literally start something new. You're going to find that you've come 360 with something. You have completed the lesson. You've learned the lesson. It's time to actually see what it is now that you've now to learn. That's the Two of Cups. Virgo, someone's coming in with a message about closing out an old chapter, an old cycle, and opening up a brand new door. Some of you might even be moving somewhere completely different. Some of you might be literally opening new doors. Doors that you've never opened before, to places that you've never been before. I feel like there is a message, Virgo, there is a message about opening up. We're in this portal, this 1111 portal. This is opening up brand new transformative opportunities. There is a door, a portal, a new beginning, a new phase. You're being given an invitation to step out of something that has been quite low vibrational, something that may have had you stuck, something where you may have felt like you were stagnating. I think it's time to take off the blindfolds and set yourself free. Scorpio season is 100% there to spook the shit out of you, but it's also there to transform you. And it's also there to see where it is that you might be, I'm not going to take these, that's keeping yourself stuck. Virgo, you can do the whole martyr syndrome thing really, really well. And I do think there is this element of masochism to this Scorpio energy. But I do think that once you, I'm going to take these because they all came out upwards. 6 of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Cups. There is movement required of you, Virgo. Let's look at these 2 cards for a second. Let's just analyze what's going on here. Going from this place of stagnation, of self-limitation, of holding yourself back, of being stuck, of really not feeling like you can see the way forward. A lot of that intellectually has to do with what the thoughts, the stories, the information that you're giving yourself, the programming that you have been programming yourself with. And ultimately what you're being asked to do here, as you can see, is move on. Intellectually, which one of these swords, which one of these thoughts, which one of these limitations is worth you moving forward with? And this might actually be like a really, really, really big cleanup, Virgo, where you're now being asked to see what it is that you can do to not only clean up your own limitations, and before you progress to move on, what is it from the current state of consciousness that you're in, that you know that you can take this frame of thinking and move forward with it? Because you're short 2 swords, and those 2 swords, I think, are the limiting beliefs and the suspension, the analysis paralysis. Somewhere along the lines, Virgo, you might find that with the messages that come forward, there's also abundant financial offers being presented to you. You have this transformation that's very much and in the grasp of your hands right now, from going from a hyper burdensome place to celebrating the contentment of the wish come true, the fulfillment of the wish come true. You've got messages, you've got invitations, you've got offers, but until you are not yourself willing to drop the baggage and travel light, you might find that there is resilience that you might be placing, regardless of however many external offers of support that you might be finding, until you yourself are not willing to drop the burdens, drop the baggage, let go, move on. 2 cards clearly signifying there needs to be some movement in the situation. There needs to be some progressive movement being made by you, Virgo. This might even mean that you are acknowledging the shit that is around you, that is deliberately being placed there to keep you stagnant, and rising above it and doing the Virgo thing anyway, and doing it anyway, and smashing it anyway. You've got this opportunity to drop it. You've got this opportunity to let go. You've got this opportunity to set yourself free. You've got this opportunity to let things work out the way that they can. And there is this element of detachment, Virgo, that you're going to have to master, especially when it comes to things that you know that you've emotionally worked hard to put together. I think you'll find that if you are moving towards progression, you're going to have to leave a few things behind. And making your peace with dropping the burdens, making your peace with letting it go, making your peace with knowing that you've made a home run, letting it be the case that you're actually super, super okay with the fact that it doesn't have to be so heavy. It doesn't have to be so heavy. This is showing you where there is an opportunity for you to very, very successfully drop the baggage, to let it go. You've learned a lot in the process of accumulating these wands, and ultimately those lessons no one can take from you. They're your wealth. They're the things that I think ultimately are going to be paying out for you should you need them to. The thing here is, Virgo, knowing when it is that you need to stop. It's not necessary for you to carry these burdens and these loads and this heavy shit forever. You don't have to. You could very easily begin to see how that hard work has paid off if you're allowing yourself to see, before you've even seen it, what this contentment looks like. Let's get some more messages for Virgo. I think with this Scorpio new moon, I think a lot of you are feeling quite ready, not only to put the final nails in certain coffins, but card on the floor. The Hierophant. I think you've grown a lot more spiritually from it. Taurian energy. You've got to speak, you've got to teach, you've got to work. Right now, this period right now, Virgo, you might have to really focus on your own, on you. Focus on what it is that you know that you need to grow. Focus on what it is that you know that you need to develop. Focus on what it is that you know that you need to slow down and study. The more attention to detail, the more you're willing to just really slow down and pay attention, the more you're willing to look at what it is that needs tending to in your own garden, which I think is the greatest analogy. Do you know what I mean? It means tend to yourself. What is it within yourself that needs tending to? You've got to take this time to revise the things that you know that you have to teach, to preach. If you're willing to take some space out and commit to the growth, commit to your own growth, please know that the only thing that you're doing is strengthening yourself, because you're going to have to step into a position which is a little bit bigger than you might actually have been used to. But for a lot of you, you're stepping into the public sector. You're stepping into a position of power where you hold a lot of influence, over a lot of people. And in order to be able to do that successfully, you are going to need some time to get really humble and grow yourself. These are times where you're going to feel yourself expanding. These are times when you're going to feel yourself growing. And in order to do it the best way possible, what have we got here? We've got the Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. You might find that there are offers being available to you in terms of emotional support, in terms of financial support. The help that you need will be there, by people that truly wish to support you, that truly wish to see you where you're supposed to be. Because what you're stepping into is the accomplishment of someone who is really operating from a supernatural place almost. And so you're being asked for all of these experiences, for all of these lessons, for everything that you have learned up until now. You're going to have to be a teacher of sort. You're going to have to be a speaker, someone who is responsible almost for a lot. The influence that you're about to give to other people, the influence that you're about to have on other people, I think is requesting a completely polished, leveled up version of Virgo that is so spiritually grounded and intact that it is taking you to a whole new level. Virgo, you are leveling up spiritually so big that you are now going to be teaching. You are going to be preaching. You, by your knowledge, the knowledge that you've accumulated, the knowledge that you've learned. This is why I say, get back to the books. Get back to studying. Because there's gonna be a lot of giving done by you. And I always say to have your hand on top. Being the giver is always better than having to be the one asking. There's nothing wrong with receiving, getting the energy of receiving as well, because we like those balanced interactions. But what I'm saying to you is, Virgo, you've got the upper hand here. You've got something that a lot of people are going to need. If you can value yourself enough right now to maintain those boundaries, maintain those barriers, maintain those limits that you need to set on the give, you know, the healing that you offer to people, reinvest that into nurturing and growing yourself. Right now, you can't give everything away for free, Virgo. And unfortunately, for a lot of you, that means stop overgiving in these toxic relationships with people where they're literally like acting like peasants and paupers. You mean I can't be cussing in conversations? Of course you can. And there's a sun card. And there is a sun card. Your summer babies. When you see the sun, it's not only just like reconciliation and rebirth and renewal and regrowth. It's not only that. This is a good omen for you. Whenever you see the sun card, know that this is home. This is that feeling of security, of being at home, of being comfortable, of being in your element. And so whenever this card shows up with the Ten of Cups, there is something about you making a really powerful, almost home run. But none of that happens without achieving that fulfillment, that feeling of contentment. And sometimes you really got to be okay with being okay in order to feel the sun. So get yourself out of the cold right now, I want to say. Nine of Pentacles, there you are. You're a... what's the word? A role model. And people look to you to see how it's done. And unfortunately right now, there may be energies in your energetic sphere that might necessarily need a timeout. I think what you need to be very aware of is that energy is contagious. And if people aren't doing themselves a favor by putting themselves in the best chance of surviving really harsh energy like we're in right now, then you can tell people, like you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And right now there is success for you, Virgo. For the hard work that you've put in, for the life lessons that you've been through and you had to learn, for the stepping away and paying attention where you needed to. When it would have been so easy to go and jump in the pig pen with the rest of them and roll around in the shit. But no. There's a transformation that is expected of you. Okay, fair enough. You're having to grow and you're having to emulate change and you're having to embody higher states of consciousness. Only you can do it. When these new doors are opening for you, the old ones will have to close. And sometimes making your peace with saying goodbye is a lot harder than the actual saying goodbye. So make your peace right now with letting go of everything that you know can't come forward with you. You might be finding that there is an invitation or a message from a significant counterpart, one that's matching your energy, one that's kind of putting you in a safe space where it's okay for you to grow you. Take this time of protection, take this time of nurturing, take this downtime, take this trust, take this quiet time, and do what you need to do, and that is grow you, because you're being asked right now that there is going to be asked a lot of you by a lot of different people. And energetically speaking, if you're not all the way charged up, don't let it look like a shit show. You know what you have to walk away from. And sometimes letting go of shit just means that you're no longer with shit. It's as simple as that. Let go from what you know that you had to pour a lot of your heart, soul, and emotions into, and intellectually make that peace with knowing that you have to move on. A stuck and stagnated version of you, regardless of how much this is self-suspension, I don't think that there are too many people that are kind of okay with you in that Virgo analysis paralysis. So you might find that there are a lot of people that are pulling you out of this funk. And you have to know that behind a lot of that is there is a lot expected of you. There's a lot that you know you have to do. There's a lot you know that you have to say. And Virgo, as much as you are a hermit, you've been given that light to illuminate. And a lot of the times that means illuminating the path for others. And that's your karma. And there's so much beauty in that. Work on maintaining your barriers, your boundaries. Really practice saying no. For a lot of you, really practice saying no. Add more value. You know what? To a lot of you, I want to say to you, add 10% to what you're charging people. Your pay, if you're freelancing, whatever it is, you need a pay raise. I said it. There's going to be a moment where you're really asked to drop the baggage. And at that point, you might freak out a little bit, like, oh shit, I've been holding on to this toxicity for so long, I don't even know how I can function without it. And at that point, don't self-sabotage shit for yourself. At that point, know, emotionally speaking, that there is a lot of shit that you've got to walk away from, and be intellectual about it. Sometimes dropping the baggage really means checking yourself. And when you drop that baggage and you know that you've got to replace it with something that's requiring a higher version of you, try and resonate with being part of this earth. If you get really, really grounded, if you begin connecting with the earth and the frequencies and the rhythms and the patterns of just earth alone, you channel into money. And this is how your money grows. And a lot of us spend a lot of time disconnected to earth. but plugged into grids that are false grids created by social media, 4G, media, all sorts of like fake, toxic, poisonous frequencies. At this point, if you are able to identify and ride and surf those energetic waves that you know lead you exclusively to higher frequencies, please know that the opposites, the binaries, will pull you into toxic shit. And it's okay. It's Scorpio season. But know that unless you're not actively looking at what it is that causes you to be in that dark place, you're not progressing. And so there are lessons. There's lessons in this growth. There's lessons in this transformation. And a lot of it has to do with, yes, justice. Moon being in Libra this weekend, I think a lot of you might be finding that you want some form of justice. You need some sort of scales to be balanced out. King of Cups. And the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. This Scorpio new moon, having ridden the ebbs and flows and the wild waves of this swampy Scorpio season, there is an achievement that translates into financial benefit. Your emotional intelligence, your ability to ride the wave, your ability to stay consistent, your ability to show and display emotional intelligence will pay out in a really big way, quickly, victoriously, really successfully. If you remain really diligent about your own grounded, steady footingness and the things that you know that you have to initiate, including where it is that it's time to actually ascend and let go of the past and actually step forward completely ready. There's work that's being asked of you, and there's a lot of stepping away from and turning your back on and moving on from. Don't blind yourself right now. Really look at you. Look at who you are right now. I think that's all I have for you. Quick changes in finances and victorious moments where you're being given an opportunity to recognize your worth and value. You're going to be getting a lot of help. There's a lot of people here that are extending emotional, physical effort in supportive ways. Your objective, your part in all of this is to make sure that you are well nourished. And please be ready for the position of authority, power, that you're gonna have to step into, because you know things that you have to teach other people. And so please be ready to speak, and please be sure of you. this season wasn't sent to break you. It was sent to give you an emotional intelligence edge that's gonna help in this transformation. Vibrating at a really, really powerful kind of self-assured, victorious place. That's a lot of powerful energy right there. And a lot of it is saying that it's time to walk away and step into the good, because you're being emotionally intelligent about it. And frankly, there is no other option. When the door closes and the invitation comes and you're faced with this emotional counterpart that is offering you this opportunity to take your attention off of everything else that doesn't involve you growing you, when you get into that, what you know, that what you have to move away from, you will know. And any limitations and restrictions, you find that you get out of by offering what you know and teaching what you know. Because where it's now apparent that it's time to drop the wands, and where you leave those wands, that 10 of Cups is what picks up from there. So when you're being offered the support and when you're being given the opportunities, make sure that you're well versed. Make sure you've taken the time to nourish, to grow, to polish. And if you're really gonna buy that lottery ticket, make sure you've got that winning mindset first. And I think there's something about remembering you, Virgo, winning, that might steer this transformation in the direction that it needs to go in. Winning. What does that feel like? I'm gonna leave that there. You've got a lot of really good positive energy coming for you, involving a lot of really big money. And in order to be able to accept and receive, make sure you're present. So when it's time to receive, you're saying yes. You're going to be giving a lot. Your knowledge, your experiences, your energy, your lesson. Please maintain those boundaries. Yeah, we are, Mag. We are money magnet mentality. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Do you know what? I think that's all I have for you guys. I love you guys so much. My phone was lit last night. It was like bing, 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 bing. And that's what I love. We're all like a big family of friends. When one of us is not good, all of us come in together to make sure we're all good. That's deep. That's family shit right there. You guys saved my life. You have no idea. I love you guys. From when I was super balling in it, to when I had nothing at all, to when I was balling in it, to, yeah. Can you name this flag? I would love to. But to book a reading, head over to the website rubyreadstarot.com. Check out a list of services available there. Book a reading. There are CBD products that I personally use myself. These make fantastic Christmas gifts. If you head over and purchase them on the website, you get a 10% discount. Woohoo! So, I hope you guys are doing super well. I hope you guys are thriving, please know that you're about to step into a massive position of authority and power, and it's very necessary that you are rested and revived and rejuvenated and ready. Okay, I told you, already said it. Scorpio season loves Virgo because Scorpios love Virgo. It is what it is. The ultimate partners in crime. Have a really good weekend. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. I'll catch you soon.